Just because you don't live in the watershed doesn't mean it's not going to affect you. So you really ought to contact your justice of the peace. Tell them how you feel.
Absolutely.
Because they represent us. And I think if just 8 of those people vote for this, it's going to pass. We're going to be stuck with the
Does it
grid.
have to be a supermajority?
Yeah, we checked, and right now we checked with the county attorney, and since there's no actual money involved, it's not an allocation, and since it's not an emergency ordinance, it just needs a pure majority, not a supermajority.
So this is Shane Stacks, he's Sherwood and
North Little Lakewood Hills, Indian Hills,
Okay.
Park Hill. But I did want to say, if I could add to that, it's very important to contact the JPs, but something that, and I've been talking, it's not just unique to this group. Everybody I'm talking to, they're missing the step that it has to go through the planning commission before it can make it to the full court. So it's just as important to contact the planning commission. So what's going to happen is when the public input period closes, I think towards the end of September, then it's going to go in front of the planning commission, and if it passes the planning commission, which my guess is it will, then it'll come to the full court. But if we can put pressure on the planning commission, we may either change it.
Their email is actually on our agenda.
Is it? Okay, great.
And their mailing, Van McClendon is the planning director. His email and mailing address, I don't think I put the phone number, but that's all on the agenda.
Okay, well just keep in mind that, and that's very good, because you guys are more aware than some people I've been talking to, that the planning commission is involved. But there's actually, it's just like JP's, if you go to the City of Little Rock, or the City of Little Rock, if you go to the Pulaski County website, government website, and you go to the planning, under there, it'll say planning commission members, and you can do just like with the JPs and call or email and say, this is crazy, please don't approve this. So I'm not saying don't worry about the full court. I'm just saying we could possibly either kill it or alter it significantly in the planning commission phase before it ever comes anywhere near the full court.
That would be our next good.
Can someone clarify from that last meeting when the guy talked about the watershed project? What did he say about the other 2 counties that are surrounding
They don't want to do
Lake
it.
Maumelle?
They're not, they don't, not only do they not want to do with these kind of zoning, but they H them, don't want anything to do with it. So,
Okay.
They've all said out.
Like,
I just, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other side, but, you know, what you're saying here is very important. You're absolutely right. This is a big issue. We're making sausage here. And the making of the sausage is pretty complex. And you need to contact your planning people. You need to contact your justice peace. Because the planning in this, they can change things, they can suit your needs. If the thing comes out on the other end that they're tacit, I suspect they will. The people that are involved in it can have a lot to do with determining their future of how it works out in the long run, determining contacting the planning commission. This is making sausage. They're going to change things a lot before this thing ever comes through the full court.
You're talking about the county planning, the county planning commission.
Right.
Pulaski County, you can go to Pulaski County Court on the website, and there's a ton of information. There's all the watershed information is on there, the planning, there's several.
and if you get our newsletter, I'll link all the websites for you there. So
Now,
keep that in mind.
My guest did ask a good question. If it passes, who will enforce
It'll be enforced by complaints. They've already stated it'll be a complaint enforced ordinance.
well, there's also,
it?
they
Backed by.
there's also, there's.
have inspectors, and we've already talked about
They're
inspectors.
not gonna have enough people to drive around. They're gonna do with complaints. People are gonna have to, it's kind of like parking in the yards of Lower.
Turning in your name.
You don't get anything unless anybody calls you.
Well, no, I don't
Except
know.
that it has UN backing, so
Yeah.
all of a
Hey,
sudden
Dick,
we're gonna have to.
Ask Kenny to relate the name of the guy. Kenny, can you relate the name of the guy that was leaving his property with some lumber and some
He
county.
got stopped. Yeah.
Oh, he was stopped by the green police guy.
Well, he was stopped by one of the inspectors.
I don't quite catch his name. I don't remember his name, but if you go to YouTube and type Lake Maumelle Watershed, Winfield, you can see the description of that. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Yeah, he was stopped on his own property, and they said, you know, why do you have all this wood? And it turned out the guy didn't really have any
He was
authority.
remodeling the interior
Yeah.
of his home, was what he was doing. Yes, sir?
Is this somewhat a derivative from the days of Rick Ferguson and that big land development out there? And,
Sure is.
well, that was all, he did everything that was required of him to make that watershed they're worried about with all these homes and stuff, safe.
That's not actually accurate, but.
It's
but
not.
in
Whoa, whoa,
the
whoa.
end, but in the end,
Wait a minute.
He's the water board, so he did what he was supposed to do. But I would dispute that he did everything he did.
No, he
But he did do what the board wanted.
that's my point. If he did what the board wanted, how is this coming up?
Well.
Because there's
well,
other guys that don't want to do what the
They
board
want,
wants.
they want more.
Well, even if it's, one thing that's important to keep in mind, and some people are like, it's about protecting water. Okay, for a hypothetical argument, let's say it's about protecting the water, they are instituting, even if you agree with that, which not everybody does, but even if you agree with that, there's things they're putting in the zoning rules that have nothing to do with protecting water. They have to do with protecting the value of the land, like the financial value or the scenic quality, and that's the landowner's choice, not the government. So there, it's, as this man said, it's making sausage.
So if you
And
build
that
a
goes
house
both
that's
ways.
not bigger than 3
Well,
stories.
who's objecting, God, to what Ferguson agreed to?
I'm sorry.
Who's objecting? Who brought this to the fore? But they already agreed to what Ferguson and his crew did.
I don't know about Ferguson, I'm telling you, I just came into this.
Okay.
So I can't address Mr. Ferguson. All I know is it's ongoing now, and we have to address it. And you know, you can go to Pulaski County Forum website, you can also go to Central Arkansas Water, I think they're .org, aren't they?
Will they have the genesis of it?
If you
I don't
go,
think they'll
They'll
go
have
back
the
to
gen- they'll go back.
history on it or anything
No.
like that.
So that wasn't too long ago.
The point is, you need to know what they're wanting to do to you right now, and you need to get informed about it. Governor Beebe has proposed, we're gonna have a bond issue come up for the roads, and, I called and asked if we could do a freedom of information request and how quick it would be to see where our money is actually going. And so the Attorney General's office is actually going to work with us in trying to find out where, every time you put a gallon of gas in, and that money, 50 cents of it goes to roads, it's a lot of money. And where's that money going? So he's going to help us fill out a freedom of information request.
Vicki, I'm also thinking that I just read that road taxes that were supposed to expire are still getting collected.
Yes. So, but
Nobody's
unfortunately,
enforcing that.
Fortunately, the Attorney General's office, even though he's a Democrat, he works for us, and they said they would help us fill out the freedom of information. No, I didn't call Mark Martin's office, I didn't call. We also have the Broadway Bridge being built. We've got a lot of bridges being built. We need to be sure to stay on that. There's a lot of things to stay on. And I wish we could get into the watershed even more, because we got Shane here, and he could probably help us a lot.